Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Friday, June 13th. Apologies if I sound different or loud or you hear clicks. My microphone isn't working, so I had to use the mic that I usually take to the garden. And it might be just this mic for a little while because the mic I usually use is very expensive and I don't really have the money to buy a new one at the moment. We'll see. How you doing, Sam?
Doing good. Excited for the show today. Let's see. What are we even talking about? We're going to see. We're going to take a look at what it would take for us to entertain a Derrick White trade. Member of the Celtics coaching staff has kind of, I guess that's a promotion. And we'll go through your emails. We'll go around the league. Maybe talk about the finals game 4 if we have time, because we're doing this on Friday. If there's a window on Saturday for us to talk about game 4, we will do it. We have some old OKC guys maybe on the move, and then we'll do the rat list. So stick around through all of it. It's going to be a fun show. Subscribe to the channel. We're here every day with new stuff. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, and there's plenty of other stuff. We're doing a lot of draft stuff right now. That content has been a lot of fun, and hopefully it's informative for those of you that are like us that just kind of sit all year and watch the Celtics, and then this time of year comes around and you're like, whoa, who are all these guys? We're trying to figure that out.
Indeed. Let's go right into the Derrick White stuff. So a couple pods ago, we did what is the right price in a Jaylen Brown trade. We talked about what if the Spurs were to offer 2 and, Devin Vassell and all this stuff. What if the Rockets were to come calling with number 10, the young guy, and all of this, or all these teams around the league. I wrote a similar article for Hoodie today. Like, what if the Raptors, who are clearly star chasing, say, hey, we'll give you Barrett, Pirtle, and 3 firsts? You're like, 3 firsts, including the 9th in this year's draft. Like, maybe you have to listen, right? I'm not saying they should trade Jaylen Brown. I'm not saying they should trade Derrick White. But as I framed it, like, the Nuggets called and offered Jokic for Derrick White, they say yes. If the Nets call and offer a first for Derrick White, they say no. So where's the middle ground, and how do you find it? So we can take a look at the Spot Track trade machine and look at that. I also think we've been using the trade machine incorrectly in some of the trades, at least. Not incorrectly, but a few things. One, we're assuming a lot of these trades would include draft capital, right? Like in the Hawks, we're like, oh, well, they'll trade the 13th pick, or in the Nets or the Magic, they'll trade 16. The draft is before the new league year starts. So we have to operate under 24-25 salaries, not 25-26 salaries. And we've been changing it over and operating under the free agents where we can renounce all the salaries. They'll have caps, and we have to operate under the 24-25 because it's going to be before the new league year. So that's the thing that I think we have to change a little bit. Because if the Celtics were to make moves around the draft, it would be in this league. With that in mind, where do you want to start? Like, when you think of the perfect, like, disregard even the team, because we can find the team based on what we think. What, in your mind, is the Derrick White trade package if the Celtics were to trade him? Sorry, that's the mute button. Like, a team calls your phone and says, hey, we'll offer you this. What's the thing they have to say for you not to hang up?
It's going to be a very vague start. So, I mean, this can be fun. This can be like,
please,
we slowly figure out what it is we actually want. The answer is something that is going to give you as much of a bang for your buck as Derrick White, because in today's NBA, the CBA is very restrictive. You need to make the most of every dollar that you spend, at least within the cap. I don't really care as much about the luxury tax. That's literally not my money. It doesn't really affect me. But as somebody who wants to see the team do well, the Celtics spending their salary cap dollars wisely is so important. And Derrick White is the epitome of that, as is Peyton Pritchard, because they over-deliver on what you're paying them. So I don't know how many guys off the top of my head I can tell you about in the NBA. Granted, I don't know everybody's salary. That is a surefire bargain, bang, deal, whatever you want to call it, player. So I guess keeping that in mind, you are going to have to gravitate towards some sort of draft capital, because that is the easiest way, and also a risky way, but an easy way if you draft well to get somebody on a cheaper contract for a longer period of time, and also maybe have them under team control for 8-ish seasons on a rather team-friendly deal, depending on how good they are. So draft capital is step one. How much of it is the other part of this?
I would tend to agree. And I think it would have to be the right draft capital. Like I think future Warriors picks, future Suns picks, future Bucks picks. Like some of these teams who may
Do the Suns
not
even
be
have
great.
picks?
No, but the Rockets have Suns picks.
Okay.
So if the Rockets wanted a Derrick White, who would actually probably fit pretty well, like let's say they don't want Jaylen Brown, let's say they want Derrick White, you get those 2 Suns picks, you get young players. Like let's start there, I guess, for a theoretical trade. Look at Houston. Like if
You're very faint at the moment.
White, no, I'll hold it here. If they did want a Derrick White, and we'll theoretically do it under this league year, because they have the 10th pick, and maybe they would throw that in if they don't want to add, a youngster. If they're more interested in win now talent, right? Say the Rockets call your phone and say, "Hey, we want Derrick White." What would it take for them, because they do have those future Suns picks? Like, let's start with those. They have the Suns pick in 29,
27,
and then 27, right? And I think there are some protections or something, but I think these will end up being the Suns picks. Like I think if they want them to be, I think this one's like a swap best of certain ones. I think they could be the Suns picks, is what I'm saying. And then they offer you 10. Right? Start there. Immediately, there's like, those could be really, really good picks, and you get a top 10 prospect and a cost control deal this year. That's a pretty good place to start. And then you consider the fact that they could offer, like if it was Reed Shepherd and Jock Londale, I don't know if that's legally allowed. Like Reed Shepherd, Jock Londale, 10th pick, and 2 future Suns picks. Is that enough for you to like not hang up the phone? Don't even say accept yet, but is that enough for you to like start the conversation?
I think Reed Shepherd has to be in this. Reed Shepherd's kind of a crapshoot though, because he's on the expensive side for a young player, being the 3rd pick in last year's draft, right? Like,
yes.
His rookie scale contract isn't as appetizing as the others, and you just spent a whole season of watching him not play. So, is Houston a deep guard team? Yeah, like Fred VanVleet's somebody that they feel like they can believe in, and there weren't a whole lot of opportunities for Reed Shepherd to eat real minutes. The problem is, if you're Boston, I think you need to have a lot of faith in whatever young guy you're getting back. Like, you can't be trading Derrick White for right? If Reed Shepherd turns out to be good. It has to be somebody that you feel like has already impressed you.
Sure.
If I was to counter, I would obligatorily ask for Amen Thompson, which I would be told no.
Yes.
But that would be like step one. You want somebody of that.
Well,
he's almost like too far into that.
But then my question to you is, where does the line stop? Like, what if Houston said, okay, we'll give you this 1st round pick too? So then you're getting 4 1st-round picks for Derrick White and Reed Shepherd. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is there a line there with the Rockets? Like, is there something? And theoretically, if you want, like, if you didn't want the 10th pick to be included in this trade, you could theoretically wait till the new league year, get like a Dylan Brooks back, and then like a bunch of picks instead. If you would rather that win now, maybe you rather take the chance on Reed Shepherd after what he showed you into the G League and just understanding that he didn't have a ton of opportunities, and you work with that. But if it's 2 future Suns picks, a future Rockets pick, and the 10th pick in this draft plus Reed Shepherd, do you do it? You have to think about it.
The other problem. Okay, so my next problem with this trade, as we see it, is it probably is not legal, so you'd have to get a 3rd team involved. But I honestly don't want the Celtics to only net $1.7 million in savings.
Well,
and that won't even be true, because they're going to have to pay the draft pick, so they're actually getting more salary back.
Then the key is to, okay, can we dump Jock Londale's contract once the new league year jumps over into free agency? Like that's really what it is. And it would theoretically be more than that as well, because next year you have to remember Derrick White's contract is going to jump 11 million from 19 to 30-ish. And so you're actually going to save a little bit more, because Shepherd's contract and Landale's contract stay around the same-ish. So you will be saving around 10 million on next year's bill, in theory.
Yeah, that I did not account for. I got to be honest with you. Missed that one.
It's hard. It's confusing.
I don't hate this. There are guys around 10 like I would be excited about too. Like he is a wide literally everybody in this draft is a wide ranging guy that isn't Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper. And the rest of them, it could be anywhere from 4 different picks to like 15 different spots that you could see these guys getting picked in. Colin Murray broke boils. We have not done a draft video on him. I don't know if we're going to, just because he's probably going to be out of their range unless they decide to trade up. I just think he is a guy that could be anything from a good role player, like that would be his floor with Boston, to being a all-star borderline guy. So if you're able to get him at 10.
I think you can even dream higher with 10. I see Murray Boyles mocked like late lottery, early 20s a lot.
Right.
Like he's 15 in the Yahoo draft. Derek Queen, Carter Bryant, Kaman Maluach. Like there are like guys. Like imagine the Celtics drafted Maluach. He's a
I
little
gotta
bit
be
raw,
honest with you, I've not watched a lick of tape on him just because that's
freak.
not Boston's range.
He's a freak. Carter Bryant is like rising up draft boards. Kasparis Drakushonis, if you want to get a guard to replace like theoretically Jeremiah Fierce could fall if you really wanted a guard to replace Derrick White and you wanted to put some competition on reach.
Tangent incoming. Fears. Probably isn't going to be a great defender. At least not yet.
No, probably not. No, he's small. But my point is, like, you can dream for some of these really high upside guys with 10, right? Like Cedric Howard, a guy we
okay,
right?
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there are guys up there that you could say, oh shit, like this could be a real thing. And I'm not saying I would or wouldn't do this. I think I would have a hard time. Four firsts for any player is a lot to say like straight up no to. When the firsts are a top 10 pick this year right now, and 2 future Suns picks with the state of their roster, it gets even harder. So, and I mean, obviously, I'm not even accounting for my Reed Shepherd bias, but like, I think this would be a perfect like ride the line type of offer.
If I'm Boston, somebody's gonna dangle a 2026 pick at me. You have to. If I'm the GM, me, solely in this dream world where it's me, you have to give me a chance at Brockton AJ. Have to. Gotta sell me.
What is this? I see. So if Houston sent you this instead.
Well, not instead. That one goes in if it's Houston. That is just like the playing the lottery, literally.
Sure. Okay, so let's take that in mind then, right? Who would it be? Like, what team would have a good enough 2026 picks that would intrigue you?
It would have to be a team that have somebody else's 26 pick.
Ready? I'm going to intrigue you.
Okay, we're monitoring.
Let's say the Pelicans really want to compete. They're like, we need to be good. We really want, let's try it with Derrick White, right? We have Zion. We'll see what happens there. But even regardless of that, right? Let's get our guys in. Let's get some guys we like. Let's bring in Derrick White and really try to like go for something, right? they ask, say, hey, Derrick White. We want Derrick White.
Okay.
The question, like, what is it back, right? Like, if you would ask for Trey Murphy, and they would probably say,
I sure would.
Right? They would ask.
Did you see the thing I put in the private chat?
I did, yeah. The Pelicans asking price for Trey Murphy is reportedly one veteran who can contribute to the playoffs, one prospect with potential, and multiple first-round picks, which is a lot. That's a lot. Now, if the veteran,
let me tell you a little something about potential. I want to introduce.
You cut out before you made the joke.
Who? Yeah, Jordan Walsh, epitome of potential.
Right. Okay. Fine. Then. Let's say they do want young player. They do want this. Blah blah blah. Like, if the Celtics put something like this together, I'm not saying they would do it because they also can't combine.
Put them in.
Well, they can't combine salaries in this league year because they're technically a second apron team still, and this trade wouldn't dip them under. However, let's say it is. Let's say it's not even Trey Murphy for now, right? Let's say it's Herb Jones. So they say, hey, we'll give you Herb Jones, and we'll give you, I don't know, Matkovich or something, right? And start there, and then just hear me out. Just get ready to listen. All right. I don't know how to make the money work, but let's say it's the Pelicans. They have the Bucks 2026 first round pick.
Yeah, I'm monitoring.
Like, they have the Bucks 2026 first round pick. They have the Bucks, and they have pick 7 in this year's draft. So if the Pelicans this year threw at you, pick 7, Bucks first round pick next year, and somebody like a Herb Jones, are you like, do you answer?
Yeah, I do. So with this trade, I think this is the sort of trade that I'm waiting all summer because I need to know if Milwaukee is going to have Giannis or not.
Sure.
If they're not going to have Giannis, then yeah. But if they don't have Giannis, then New Orleans might not want to trade the pick. So there's that too.
Or maybe they leverage the pick because they're sick of losing. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Like, if they really want a good player, it's Derrick White is like the perfect guy, right? Like to any winning basketball team, Derrick White is the perfect guy. So let's go into the new league year then and do that. And then let's say it's Herb Jones and it's I don't know who else it would be. Kelly Olynyk. Does that work? And then they offer you 2026 Milwaukee and then a future first of their own or something, or maybe not. Like if it's Herb Jones, Kelly Olynyk, the Milwaukee Bucks pick next year, and a future Pelicans first, do you answer the phone or do you need more? I think I would need more, but excuse me.
I think getting Herb Jones would be good. He's somebody you can talk yourself into being a potential like role replacement guy for Derek. I don't think he's the same player, but he does replace some of the defensive stuff and has upside offensively. Kelly Olynyk reunion would be fun. You have a chance at Brockton AJ. Keep that in your back pocket. And then who knows what's going to happen to the Pelicans in 2028. They don't have like a ton of stuff that makes you feel great about a future for them, especially like a few years down the line. Like you don't know what's going on with Zion. Besides him, CJ McCollum's not getting any younger. DeJounte's coming off an Achilles tear. Like Herb Jones isn't going to be on the team, but he's coming off an ACL, right? I'm not making that up. I don't know, man. Of the things, I think the Houston one might be more intriguing than this as of now.
Mm-hmm.
I also am apologizing if any opposing fans are here and we're doing trades with your team and these offers are insulting because we don't know any better.
Comment down below if you're a Pelicans or Rockets fan. You're like, no.
I'm sure there's 3 of you out there, Pelicans fans.
Before we continue with Derrick White trade talk, I need to tell you guys about PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action this sports season, whatever sports season it is when you hear this. For baseball season, pick more or less. You can pick Roman Anthony since he just got called up to the Sox. Marcelo Meyer hit 2 home runs the other day. If you had picked the more on home runs, you would have been living large. But you just pick more or less on 2 or more player props for a chance to win up to 2,000 times your cash during the season. Sam and I do the PrizePicks every single pregame show. We pick more or less on a bunch of different player props for Celtics games, whether it's points, whether it's rebounds, whether it's blocks, whether it's turnovers for an opposing team. We make sure to pick our more or less there. It's the best place to get real money sports action. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. Okay. Back to this. Where do you want to go next? What else do you think? Like, do you want to do a trade that would be like a better young player? Because Reed Shepherd is something like, let's do the Warriors, because I think that's a pretty common one of like they could be interested in Derrick White, and I think that would be one that that could happen after the league year as well, because I don't think they have an intriguing pick in this current draft.
Okay, let's do that. Let's go Project Realism with the Warriors, and the draft picks do make you feel better about losing Derrick because Golden State's not getting younger.
Okay, so let's say it is 2028, it is 2031, and then a swap in 2029. Swap best. It's not letting me pick. It's lagging. Okay. Is this lagging for you too?
I don't think so. I don't know.
It won't let me click Boston. Okay. Derrick White to Golden State. Sorry. The Warriors send back the 2028 first round pick, 2021. It's not letting me pick 2031 first round pick. But just say it's 2029 and 2031. It's literally not letting me select. And then the people you get back would be something along the lines of a Moses Moody, probably Buddy Hield to make the money work. And then you shed $7 million. You go from there. And again, it's just because the money, it's literally not letting me pick. I'll send it as a swap, but 31 would not be a swap. Or maybe it has to be a swap. Maybe because this year, these two have to be swaps. So 29 and 31 are swaps. And then I don't know what the protections are in this 2030 pick. I'll look it up. But the general idea is you get a bunch of future Warriors first. Buddy Hield, Moses Moody. And then if you really want to like press the Warriors and say, hey, we need more, maybe you ask for Quentin Post once they accept his team option.
Okay. Well, I think I would push them for Pods over Buddy Hield, just to be a prick.
I don't think financially that works because Buddy Hield makes $9 million and Pods makes $3 million, and I don't think they could do that.
Okay. Well, The draft picks are probably the best haul that you're going to
You can
get.
ask for both if you really wanted to press.
Yeah, I guess you could.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably like overvaluing Derrick a little bit. If I'm pressing them.
Okay, sure.
But I think if you can get the 4 picks from the Warriors, that makes you feel pretty good about this. Like, we've heard people allude to a Bridges type package would be something you'd have to really entertain if you're the Celtics, including us on this show. We were like, well, if they give you 5 first-round picks for Derrick White, you can't like immediately say no. You have to at least think about it and gauge what you think will be there in those draft years. The problem with first-round picks is not every draft is made equal. Like, we're all enjoying the prep for this year's draft, and we're like, wow, all these guys are awesome, and Cooper Flag's there, and Dylan Harper's going to be a nice consolation prize for the second overall pick. But last year, I mean, can you imagine? Like, you're sitting here for years and years plotting on some team falling to the bottom of the standings so you can have a good draft pick in the 24 draft.
Scary.
And you're just like, damn, I don't like any of these guys that much.
In this trade, though, I think it's good because theoretically you would get a Moses Moody and a Podziemski or a Quentin Post, depending on what you ask for. That could be helpful as well. I don't hate this Warriors type of thing. I think 2031 is a very interesting thing just because the Warriors may not be very good by then. And they're kind of in the mood where the realm where they might be desperate to compete with their current core, so they might shell out a little bit extra to get a guy like Derrick White. Like, imagine Steph Curry, Derrick White, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green. Like, that's a championship contender, right? It just is. So maybe they're willing to push the boundary of what is a fair price because they want to compete for a title.
Yeah, they do have to kind of go all in if they have any hopes of giving Steph a final run.
And Jimmy. They're old.
And Jimmy. Yeah.
So, anything else? Like, I'm trying to think of some other teams that could be interested. Like, you look at the Eastern Conference, it's tough. Like, which of these teams could give you an offer that would intrigue you enough to do it? Like, I mean, you don't want to trade with Philly theoretically, but if they offered you 3 in a trade.
The problem with 3 is I don't know what I want at 3.
Philly doesn't even know what they want at 3.
Which is why they want to get rid of it.
Exactly. But you still get a DJ Edgecombe, you still get an Ace Bailey, you still get a Trey Johnson. Like, all 3, I think, will be pretty good players at the very least. And then it would just be what else can you get? Because, I mean, the problem with that is you'd probably, like, I think they would have to send out the Paul George contract, which you would just laugh in their face and hang up the phone. But, yeah.
I think trading up significantly in this draft and not getting Cooper Flag would be a little ridiculous. Like, it would feel...
Dylan Harper, I'm okay with, too.
It's not like a 1-1 type of like 1-to-1 thing where it's like that's the only thing I would ever want and it's not worth it at all to do it. But just with all the storylines and being a narrative guy that eats up all the drama and gossip in the NBA, It would suck. Because all year I was just like, man, it would be so cool if they like. I'm so happy they won the title last year. But if I could have handpicked a season for the Celtics to just have a disaster year, it would have been this year. Because I said it to you, I was like, it wouldn't be the worst thing if this was the year that like everything went wrong and you just have like the gap year, like the Spurs.
It did go wrong, just at the end.
That's what I mean. Like if we could have did this a year ago, but still got the championship in there somehow, I would have been down. Would have been all in. Been like, Cooper Flag, welcome to the team. And then you lose the lottery like the Jazz, and you're just left sitting here.
Unfortunate, man. Truly unfortunate. I have another one to pitch you, and you can let me know what you think.
Okay.
And it largely depends on what you think of the future of this team, because maybe they would just be like, nah, I don't really care. Like, it's not worth it. But depending on where they're at or what they think is smart for them, what if it was this? Sacramento wants a point guard, supposedly.
Okay.
If they offered you Malik Monk, Keon Ellis, and future first-round picks, would you pick up the phone?
Smart people like Keon Ellis. I don't know
He's
as much
really
about
good.
Keon Ellis.
He's really good. He's like a really, really good defender and can shoot the ball.
How tall is he?
Let me double check. I need to put the mic. No, I can just type it like this. Keon Ellis.
He's listed as a small forward, but I feel like every time I've watched the 2 times that Sacramento played them, he feels a little undersized
big body,
for a small
6'4".
forward.
Yeah.
Okay. And those first round picks, the Spurs will probably
Shot
be good.
43.3% from three this year, 41.7% from three last year.
I feel like I don't know if you could ever go wrong trading for Sacramento Kings picks, right? Like they're probably going to be in the lottery somewhere.
Also, Keon Ellis is going to make $2.3 million next year, but then you'll have to pay him. So that is also something you consider, but still.
But you're going to have to pay him on a rookie skill extension,
Sure.
not a supermax extension. And a rookie skill extension is right in the sweet spot.
So I think he could go get money. Like he could probably go get like 15 mil somewhere.
Okay.
Which still isn't terrible. Like it'd still save you money in the long run. I think he's a good player. Plus you get Malik Monk, which is pretty good, and you get future Kings picks, which are probably going to be pretty good. I don't hate it.
Being said, like if I get the notification that this has happened and this is what I see, I'm like, I don't feel great about it losing Derrick White.
Yeah. No, sure. Of course.
It's tough to do this exercise after having our brains beaten for weeks that the Celtics are going to get shit in return for whoever they trade because those players are probably going to be Porzingis and Holiday. That you're just like, oh, wow, like multiple firsts and decent players for a guy making like the same money as Holiday or Porzingis. Like, wow, that'd be sick. But you have to remember, like, that is a contract you would prefer to have on this team.
I agree. And I am team don't trade Derrick White. I still think he'll be a phenomenal contending piece. But if you get the Mikal Bridges offer, sometimes it's just about capitalizing on value when it's at its highest. Like it's the business, man. So we'll see. I still don't think he'll get traded. I don't really know. It just depends on how much, like I said with the Warriors, like if they're desperate to compete right now and are willing to give you 4 first and Moody and Pajemski because they want to overpay, you almost have to rip them off, right? Like you almost have to. It's like when the Celtics traded Pierce and Garnett. Like, sucks to lose those guys, but you almost have to rip them off. Like you almost just have to steal from a baby, right? If the baby offers you candy, you take it from the baby. Like it is what it is. But anyways, next thing, Phil Pressey is the new head coach of the Maine Celtics. They announced it today. He's been a player dev guy for them for a couple years now. He obviously played for the Celtics. Very cool opportunity for Phil Pressey. Great guy. Good dude. Shout out, Phil.
Yeah. Member of the coaching staff for the last 2 seasons. We've seen him work in pregame every game with a lot of the developmental players, so this will be no surprise or no. I wouldn't say there should be growing pains with him coaching up in Maine, having been a big part of the developmental team over the last few seasons. So it's a good opportunity. Do you know what's happening to Tyler Lashbrook? Is he just coming back to work with the Celtics in Boston? Like, is this a rotational thing they do with coaches?
I do not know.
Okay. Something to monitor.
Keep an eye. Very cool for Phil Pressey, though. It is funny because he was in the press conference room watching Joe Mazzulla pressers a few times down the stretch of the year, and now we know why. He's getting used to it. He wants to see what he's gonna have to deal with next year. But yeah, shout out Phil Pressey. Cool dude. Okay, let's check out y'all's emails. A reminder, as always, you guys can email us at hbtcpod@gmail.com. That's hbtcpod@gmail.com. We have 3 today, so let's take a look. First one we have from RJ. Quick and dirty finals analysis. Evening, folks. Fun final series so far. For one that doesn't have Boston in it, my quick take is that as long as the Pacers can keep SJ looking like last year's Luka on offense, Indy will get its first title since it played with the red, white, and blue ball ABA, and their 2 losses the Thunder attempts Thursday and on 24 and 20 attempts tonight, Wednesday. Additionally, he had a total of only 7 assists in his 4 losses against Boston. Luka averaged 20 points on 25 shot attempts and a mere 5.8 assists, down from 8 a game in the Western Conference Finals. The players on the Pacers all have confidence in their ability to contribute to winning in different ways and at different times. They are all letting the game come to them. It's fun to watch. Stay safe and be well, RJ. Shout out to the Pacers. Game 4 is tonight as we're recording this, and I am very excited.
I'm excited too. I would love to see the Pacers go up 3-1. At the very least, I think that guarantees us a fun series or Pacers championship. And I think if the Pacers were to upset OKC, it would be fun because it wasn't the expected result anyways, even if you felt good about the Pacers going into this. So yeah, I think they've done a good job of just being themselves and not really letting the moment get to them or feel any pressure to play a different way.
Yes, agree.
Also, why can't they bring back the red, white, and blue ball? Looks cool.
You like the red, white, and blue ball?
At least for the All-Star game, maybe.
Okay. I'll buy it for the All-Star game. I just think the orange ball is so iconic at this point. Like, I feel like it would be like, it would almost make it look cheap. I think
each team should have their own ball, like soccer.
No.
Celtics play with.
Is that how it works with soccer?
Different competitions have different ones. So, like the Champions League has the one with the stars on it. Premier League has a certain ball every single year.
Oh yes, not every team though.
I think when they play like cup competitions, they might be able to provide their own. I don't know for certain.
I see. Soccer talk coming up in the route list preview for you. Next email.
Okay, excellent.
We have Keep KP. Philip says,
oh, no.
Fellas, as the offseason dialogue continues, the Celtics options are digested. I'm believing the team should keep KP. I am not proposing exactly how it happens, but rather that KP raises this team's ceiling because stretch fives are so rare. I know you both believe he is terribly injury prone, but a lot of his recent trouble has been situational. You can say Luke, who I love, but he doesn't transform our playbook. I disagree. I know this may mean the other offseason moves are punishing, but a lot of the team's other players are more replaceable. KP is still a rare 29-year-old treasure, averaging 55 games a season over his career. Has good chemistry. I don't want to see them walk away from that. I assume you both disagree, but how would you feel if KP played well this summer and had great on-court chemistry with JB to start the 25-26 season? Best, Phil. I'll let you go ahead.
I've been more on Phil's camp. I'm still a mixed bag. I'm not going to be mad either way. But I think you can talk yourself into feeling good about Porzingis sticking around. And the big proponent, the big if, the enabler, is if they get him to sign a team-friendly deal down the road. Because then...
What's team-friendly to you?
15 or less annually.
Okay.
Maybe even 20. But 20 is pushing it.
I don't want my thoughts to be misconstrued. Because I fully understand why people want to keep KP. And it makes sense. I get it. He changes the way they play. He gives them the curveball, whatever, and it clearly works at times.
And it mattered.
I also think
at times last season a lot. Not in the playoffs, but a lot.
Sure, not in the playoffs, right? My biggest thing is KP drastically changes the way Celtics play. And it can be a good thing. And it was a good thing at times. But it can also be a bad thing. And we saw how it can be a bad thing. Because when you get caught up in the KP post-ups and everyone else, you have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown playing watch ball, which is fine for stretches. And the KP thing doesn't work. It's pretty detrimental, right? You're taking the ball out of your two best players' hand to feed this guy. And when he's not on, that's really bad because it slows down the entire offense. It kind of disrupts their entire pace of play. On top of that, a lot of the injuries being situational, I get an injury being situational, but when we're talking about years of injuries being situational, it stops being situational. And I get it. The individual injuries themselves are technically situational, but it's less the fact that he's having these individual quote unquote freak injuries and more the fact that he just constantly has freak injuries. There comes a point where it is no longer a freak issue. It is just kind of who he is. And it sucks. Right, because we've seen players get taken up by that, and a lot of the times it's more like a Greg Oden where it's just degenerative issues. But sometimes it's just this, where his body is not built well enough to withstand this constant pressure of playing basketball and this constant, banging and bruising of playing basketball, especially at the center position. And it is what it is. On top of that, when you consider the salary implications of he makes $30 million next season. If you, I said this last time, if you trade Drew and Hauser, it's $40 million, but you're probably not going to shed all of that because you'll have players coming back. Let's say they do the Mavs trade and then they fully dump Hauser. That'll be PJ Watt, and they find a third team to take Gafford on, which is not, a guarantee. It's possible, but it's not a guarantee. You get $15 million of PJ Washington back, so you said shed a roughly 17 in the Drew trade, and then you shed a full 10 mil with Sam. That leaves you $7 million in total because that's 27 shed, and then that leaves you $7 million to maybe re-sign Cornette, maybe re-sign Horford, and sign your draft picks. That's tight. It's not impossible, and Brad is great at his job, but it just gets very hard without trading two of the big salaries. And again, not impossible, but My prediction is if they do end up keeping KP, it means one of Jalen or Derrick is gone. Like that's just kind of like what makes sense in my brain. I said it last time, and at that point, I'd just rather find a way to dump KP. That again, if we talk about a KP trade and it is you have to attach draft capital to his contract to get rid of him versus getting a really good haul for Jalen or Derrick, then you might just have to bite the bullet because I don't think giving up draft capital is smart. But it's just hard in my opinion.
I have become the number one draft capital fan actually ever. So I'm in agreement with that. I do not want to see any of the trades this summer have to have draft picks
unless you get
so
back,
ridiculous.
Unless it's like a case of you are attaching to Kristaps because you are getting a really good player back in return as well, who makes less money.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like I can get it in certain situations. Like if you get a Trey Murphy back or something, or if you get like a really high level guy who is on a good contract like Trey Murphy. I'm not saying that's going to be a KP trade. I don't think that's realistic at all. But like I think there is a world where I would get it. But if we're talking straight trades of like this person to shed salary, it is not worth it to attach picks.
If they can manage to do it with just Drew and Hauser, then I'm in. If it requires Derrick or Jalen, I think I'm out. I don't think exactly. I think you have diminishing returns at that point, and it is a big if because we don't really know what the rest of the blueprint for the summer would look like.
And you don't know what the package would be. Like if you get Dylan Harper, 3 future firsts, and Devin Vassell, and pick 14 for Jaylen Brown, and like they do that, then I'm okay keeping KP and see if you can get him a cheap deal. You know what I'm saying? Like if this Godfather offer does come in, then I get keeping. Then don't dump KP just because you need to dump salary. Then you can keep him and see what happens. And I'm not saying the Celtics should do that for Jaylen Brown. I'm just saying if they get something that they feel comfortable with for those two, I will jump off the you have to trade KP train. Obviously, I just think it's a full like salary thing, and I think it's some of an awkward fit at times. So that's just
And I'm also in the camp of the situational. I have mentally separated the sickness from the injury proneness. Injury proneness, by the way, absolutely exists with him. He's 7 feet tall. Humans aren't really meant to be that big. All of that stuff is very valid. He's had a history of injuries. This season, and you can remind me because I don't remember off the top of my head, before he got sick, did he get hurt again after he came back from the ankle thing?
I can look. You keep talking while I look it up because I can't put down my mic.
Because I don't know if he did, and that would make me feel a little bit better about this. It doesn't make the sickness thing any better. Because it happened, it was brutal, it cost them a playoff series, cost them another run at a championship probably. Might have cost them next season too, depending on how you feel about the domino effect of everything that happened.
He had,
what you got?
So I don't know how long the stretches were. I'm going to have to look at his basketball reference page as well. He had an ankle thing. From what I'm seeing. I think I remember that. He twisted his ankle. Wasn't it against the Mavs in Dallas? He twisted his ankle in the lane.
Oh, you know what? I was working that day, so I didn't see the game.
Think it was. I'm gonna double check because I could be very wrong. There's also the head injury in the playoffs, but I don't think that's very.
That doesn't count.
I mean, he missed the entire beginning of the season.
Yes,
because of surgery.
Because he got the rarest injury known to man.
Sure, but it is still
that plays into your point,
injury.
By the way. That's what I mean.
Exactly. Yes. So 118 is the ankle thing I see. He missed. Let's see, 118. He missed 2 games in a 3-game span, but he came back in the Golden State game. He twisted his ankle. It was an overtime game at Atlanta when they were here. He did not play in.
Okay.
Oh, it was the Orlando. So they killed Orlando on the 17th, and in Orlando it was when I think it was against Goga. He like stepped on it weird.
Okay, I think I vaguely
so there
remember
was that.
But there, so this season
ankle
there
thing in
wasn't
December
a ton of...
too. He missed 4 games because he twisted his ankle in the Christmas game.
Okay.
So he missed 4 games for an ankle there as well. And then the rest of it was either the illness in March or the surgery at the start of the year.
Okay, well, here's what I will say about the KP ball part of what you had to say. I completely agree with you in the playoffs. It was an issue because they were gambling and they felt like the high of getting Porzingis to be himself would propel them, and it never came. So they left themselves wide open to be taken advantage of. Outside of this playoff series, maybe a little bit after he came back from the surgery, I cannot remember Porzingis ball not being something I fully believed in. because it feels like every time he does his I'm taller than you turnaround, it goes in. He's playing Nerf ball. He is proven
He's
to
a great
me.
post-up player.
Right. And it was so jarring when it didn't work, it really screwed them up. I do agree that it's something different that they do, but I think it's a good thing considering how effective it typically is. And the sickness is separated from the other things, in my opinion, because he tried to play through and it just didn't work. Again, I could be convinced either way, but that's why I feel good about the upside of keeping him, especially if the stuff about him liking playing in Boston is completely true, and that playing a factor into how willing he would be to be on a team-friendly deal.
It's fine. I don't hate keeping Kristaps if you find another way to make the money work. It is also worrisome to me having Kristaps in a post-Al Horford world. And if that means you can't keep Cornette,
Yes.
Kristaps cannot be your
Fair.
only center. Right? And I'm not saying that means trade him, but like he cannot be your only center. And that is a problem as well. So thank you, Philip, for the email. Last email we have is Nathan. Nathan says, question, if somehow the Celtics trade Jalen for the second pick and whatever the trade package would look like, what would have to be the trade to get the first pick? My thoughts are definitely incorrect. I do not know the correct values of certain trades, especially when it comes to the first few picks. I mean, theoretically, if you'd offer 2 and maybe if you offered 2 and Drew Holiday and Peyton Pritchard, maybe the Mavericks say yes or something like that. They only brought in Cooper Flag for a workout. I just think they're going to take him. Is there a world let's say you offered 2 and Derrick White and future firsts to get them interested, and Nico's fine? Maybe. I don't think there's a path.
I'm just thinking about going through all those hoops, it happening. Cooper Flag's on the Celtics, and we're pumped, and he just sucks. They just got their entire championship roster, including the guys that are on good team-friendly deals for a guy because he's from Maine, even though that wouldn't be why they did it, because they would have to have significant faith in him to do all that. But that would be maybe the most hilarious outcome, because I would have been so wrong and got for really loving my narratives. Yeah, I think if you got the 2 pick and you really wanted Cooper Flag, there is a pathway to it because the Mavs want Drew Holiday. So you could
How much would you give up
for Cooper Flag? So to get the second pick, you would have to give up Jalen. So Jalen would be in there. You would be giving up Drew. I would try not to give up Pritchard.
Would you?
I don't know. I don't know if I would.
I think I would.
Yeah,
But
I would.
What if it was Derrick and Pritchard? They up the ante. They're like, we like Drew, but we want Derrick instead. And
no,
2.
because then you're still stuck with the Drew contract remains a problem for you.
Sure, but other teams could want him. But then that would be another trade, and then you're talking about trading Drew, Jalen, Derrick, and Peyton, and then Kristaps is the only fucking guy on the team. I don't think there's a realistic pathway anyways. If you could find a way to keep one of Pritchard or Derrick and then get the Mavs to bite, because they'd probably ask you for future draft capital too, which maybe you could just take the future draft capital. You maybe also get in a Spurs trade or something else. But
if you
we
do
don't
what
have
just
to live in
talked
this
about,
fantasy world.
if you do it that way, then you're going to be bad enough to get AJ too. So I'm actually all in.
Shut the fuck up.
You could just have an all New England team and also Tatum.
Anyways, before we continue, NBA section, I need to tell you guys about CLNS Media. If you're watching this video right now, you're watching on the How About Them Celtics YouTube channel. So make sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn the notification bell on, or just remember when we post, because there's a new video on this channel literally every single day of your life at 5 a.m., no matter what. I don't care if it's a weekend. I don't care if it's a holiday. I don't care what it is. There will be a video on this channel at 5 a.m., barring a catastrophe. Stay tuned. Full pods as well on Spotify, Apple, all the podcast platforms every Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. So if you enjoy listening, check it out there. Listen on your way to work. But also jump on over to the CLNS Media channel. Subscribe there. Leave a like on their videos. Watch the Garden Report live. Watch the press conference during the season. During Summer League, you'll see them there as well for that coverage. And then Celtics All Access, CLNS Media YouTube channel. Subscribe there for all the best podcasts. You got Boston. You got the A-List. You got Dome Theory. You got First to the Floor. Everything you could possibly want in a Celtics podcast channel. Plus, CLNS also has great coverage for all the other beats. Pat's season is going to come up, much to Sam's dismay, and they do great Pat's coverage there with Mike Hadlick and Tyler Kyles. Shout out to those guys. And I threw those guys in so you couldn't say anything negative because we're talking about people instead of just the Patriots.
I like them.
Shout out. Anyways, and now we can move in to the rest of the NBA section. First up, Russell Westbrook declined his team option with the Denver Nuggets. Means he's going to be an unrestricted free agent. I saw Keith Smith speculate something along the lines of like he'll probably get a similar deal with another team, which probably means this is going to be another team unless the Nuggets are going to pay him. But I can't imagine they're going to pay him much more. So if he wanted to stay in Denver, he probably would have just picked it up. Question then becomes where? Do not say the Celtics. Stop.
The Celtics trade everybody like we talked about earlier in the pod for Cooper Flag, and then they let Russ be the tank commander. They say, go ahead, you can average a triple-double for this season, and we'll go and get AJ.
No. In all seriousness, I don't know where Russ would go. Like, that would make a ton of sense for him. I think
Does he go back to
pretty
OKC?
Niche.
Even just to, like, watch games? Like, he doesn't have to play?
No, but I think Russ wants to play. Why else would he, he doesn't scream to me like the type of player who would be cool with just chilling on the bench.
Wants a ring.
Right?
Desperately.
No. But I think he wants to contribute to a ring. Like I feel like that is sort of where he's at. I don't know where it would be. Like, maybe he goes back to, I saw someone say something like maybe he just goes to the Eastern Conference. Like, it would make sense if he go to the finals. I don't know. It's weird. He's such a weird fit. I think he found such a fun, like, good niche in Denver, and maybe he can replicate it elsewhere. It's just like, where? Like, what? Is he the point guard the Kings are looking for?
I also don't know, like, if you're Russ, how smart it is to be like, I actually don't want to play with Jokic. When maybe this is he wants, like, more money. Like, he feels like he actually improved his value this year because he kind of overachieved. Like, we all were like, this sucks.
Maybe.
Why would you ever do this if you're Denver? And he actually turned out to be pretty decent for them. It wasn't perfect, but he had moments where it was like, oh, nice, Russ. Like, good job. Maybe he's going to try and get some more money from Denver to stay there. But
You know what I don't hate?
Go ahead.
I don't hate Phoenix. Think about it. They don't really have a point guard. Like, seriously, if you let him actually do what he did in Denver with Devin Booker next to him, and if you trade, like, let's say they trade KD for Cat, like, you'll have two really good floor spacers. Obviously, Russ would have to find a way to be effective around those guys. But, like, they don't have a point guard. It's not like they have this guy who Russ is going to have to be a backup to, like the Nuggets, Jamal Murray, and then, like, Jokic. Like, Russ is still very clearly a fine player. You don't want to give him the whole control, so that's why you have Booker. I don't hate Phoenix. I don't hate, like, the Mavericks. If they want a backup point guard, like, I think that would be fine in certain situations. It's just a question of, like, what is he looking for at this stage of his career, and I don't really know.
I actually think Russ just doesn't belong in the Eastern Conference. It's just weird. He's played his whole career in the Western Conference, except for Washington.
I was going to say, yeah.
And that sucked. So
He was nasty, though.
Yeah, but
one of the best
everybody
years
knew
of his
it.
career.
Everybody knew the team sucked. Everybody knew that they had no. I mean,
He made
they
the
made the
playoffs.
eights. But they. No, it was.
My
it was
point
fake.
is him individually dragging that Wizards team to the playoffs is one of the most impressive accomplishments that I have seen in the last 10 years. I'm so serious. Like, the last, like, 25 games of the season, I need to look up the stats. He averaged, like, 34, 13, and 12. And they went, like, 20 and 5 to, like, make the 8th seed by one game. It was, like, insane.
I don't care what you
I'm
say.
not being serious.
Fuck that Wizards team.
You're an idiot. Like, what do you mean?
I don't know, man. Like,
insane.
8 seed basketball just doesn't do it for me. It's like he won the MVP when they were the 6th seed. He averaged triple double like it was historic. Nobody had done it. Like, I understand why it happened, but in the moment it was just like whatever.
But my thing is the same reason that we can't knock Jason Tatum's MVP case for having a good team. You can't knock Russell Westbrook. Like, he's not, like, it's a shit
I know. I know it is.
Like, what do you want him to do about it?
Yeah, I don't know, man. We both have valid ground to stand on, and I'm not discounting what you're saying.
I want to find the exact record. Hold up. So from April 7th to
All I know is Jason Tatum sent them to the 8 seed game in the play-in 2021.
From April 7th, 2021 to May 16th, 2021, the Wizards went 16-6, and Westbrook averaged, let me see. Can I see? I don't want to see totals. Why are you showing me totals, bro? I'm going to lose.
Wasn't Bradley Beal
he
unbelievable in that stretch too?
He averaged 23 points, 13.5 rebounds, and 14 assists.
Yeah. No, it's definitely crazy.
That's fucking insane to take them to 66. I don't know what Bradley Beal was. I can look as well.
Was that the year that everyone was like, I can't believe this guy's not on the All-Star team? Or was that the year after? And they were like,
oh, I don't know.
Putrid. It had to be the one after because they wouldn't have made the playoffs.
Yeah, maybe. Like, so what was it? What did I say? April 7th?
Yeah.
I think. April, I'm going into NBA.com now. This is what a tangent we're on. I love this. I love talking to I feel
Welcome
so
to we only had
about
2
this,
things
too.
in the NBA section, and I don't really care about either one of them, so.
I know. I feel so strongly about this. I've said this all the time too. Like, this is not just a random tangent because we're talking about Russell Westbrook. Like,
to the listeners, take it with a grain of
feel
salt. I'm
strongly.
just like not really a Westbrook fan. I don't like dislike him as a guy.
Sure.
I don't really like the my career billion stats. Like, it doesn't move
my
me.
thing is for Westbrook, like, what else was he supposed to do on the Thunder team?
Oh,
Like,
I don't
and this
blame
is,
him. I don't
Exactly.
blame him.
He has just been in situations where he has had
Yes,
to play that.
I know.
That Wizards team in that stretch, Beal averaged 31 in that stretch when they went.
Okay, so yeah, he was playing crazy ball too.
48.5, 37% from the field. I mean, shit, man. Russell Westbrook had Davis Bertans averaging 12 a game. He had Robin Lopez averaging 10 a game. What are we doing?
I'm trying to think, was that the year we were all like, what if the Celtics traded for Davis Bertans? Or no, he ended up going to the Wizards instead of Boston, whatever trade.
Mm-hmm.
What a time. We should do an all-time like power rankings of the guys that we were like listening to trade rumors about. We were like, whoa, like that'd be awesome. Like, remember when Andre Drummond was supposed to be on this team like 5 years in a row? Or
Yeah.
like they were going to get Paul George or Jimmy. The Jimmy one might not have been too bad, even though it would have cost Tatum and Brown. But like just
Yes, of course.
without knowing what you had in Tatum and Brown, like Jimmy might have been cool here.
Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is always going to come to the Celtics.
Was he?
In those Timberwolves years. I remember us talking about it on the show, like, they could go get Derrick. Remember? Oh, I remember. I have the king. We were livid when the Sixers got Glenn Robinson III and Alec Burks for like 2 seconds. We were like, why didn't Brad trade the seconds for Glenn Robinson? He's being so cheap. Yeah, you can't do that. I remember. It's on the show. You could probably go find the episode way deeper.
I don't remember that. I don't doubt that it
Oh, yeah.
happened.
Or maybe it was the Warriors. Like, the Warriors traded 2 seconds for Glenn Robinson.
I think I might have just been mad because I'm like, everyone's just getting free guys. I think that's what it was.
Exactly. Yes.
I always hate when like the Celtics are trying, like they're not the favorite and the teams around them are just getting free guys. That always gets under my skin.
Anyways, last NBA thing. Before
Speaking of free guys.
Yeah, Shams put it out there that Kevin Durant is going to work, and his agent are going to work with the Suns, and we've been narrowed down to a few teams. The focus of the Suns conversations has been on a few teams here and there. They are the Rockets, Heat, and the Timberwolves. Are the biggest KD teams according to Shams. The Knicks were always also thrown in there in a report I saw, and the Spurs in an earlier Shams report. He also mentioned like a few, what was it, like under the radar or quiet teams have thrown in bids or whatever, or have called. Of these teams, the Rockets, Heat, and the Timberwolves, I know you're not going to like it because it's the East. The Heat are just free, in my opinion. I think that is
They're
the most
free?
obvious. I think it's the most obvious win for KD, in my opinion.
You think so?
I think KD to the Heat would make them an instant finals contender, yes.
No joke, was going to be like, this is like the meme of the army, and then there's the one guy dressed clown.
No.
That's Miami. I just don't, what does it do for them?
Hero
I don't think they
Bam
have
and
enough.
KD?
You think all three
Actually-
of those guys will be there?
What do you mean?
So you think it's going to be like Jaquez and Khalil Ware?
Oh, they're not trading Bam or Hero in a KD trade. Hell no. What? Have you seen, bro, the Spurs offer right now is like Vassell, Barnes, and 14, and maybe a future first. Like the KD's value is not where we think. Like
in fairness to me, I just don't care about the KD sweepstake. I haven't been looking at like the
I think
offers and stuff.
it would probably be like Wiggins, Robinson, and then Hawkes or Ware, and then a couple firsts. Yeah. And then you have whatever draft pick the Heat make, or maybe they trade that in the KD trade. If Hero at the 1, you have Bam, you have whatever wing you keep out of Hawkes, Wiggins, or Ware, whatever, Robinson, and then you have KD. Like, imagine, like, the Heat's biggest problem has been they don't have an actual scorer outside of Tyler Hero. KD is one of the most efficient scorers in NBA history, and he still is at 37. On top of that, he's in the Darius Garland list, Jason Tatum list, Giannis with no team, Eastern Conference.
How long is Garland going to be out?
4 to 5 months from now.
Oh, that's right. He's not going to be ready for like the start of the season. The toe thing.
And on top of that, Kevin Durant would be the best player Eric Spoelstra has coached since LeBron James. Eric Spoelstra is probably the best coach in the right now in the NBA by far, like by a long time. You give him Kevin Durant on offense? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? With Tyler Hero running the point, with Bam Adebayo's defensive skills, and KD's not a real liability on defense. I don't like he's still old, but like I think that is perfect for him, especially because it's the Eastern Conference. I like the other teams. Don't get me wrong. Like I think KD and Anthony Edwards would be super fun. It's a very good Timberwolves team. I think they'd be very good. I think the Rockets would be very good with KD as well. I think if you keep Thompson, you keep Şengün, you manage to keep good pieces, it'd be fine. But the fact that you would play with 2 All-Stars and be in the Eastern Conference. Shit, man. The only thing better, I think, would be New York. For KD, again, this is not what I want or what I think. Like, for KD, playing with multiple All-Stars in the Eastern Conference, in my opinion, if you want to win a championship, is the dream.
There might have been a situation where he did exactly that.
Could have. He did. He did it with the Nets. And he was a toe away from dragging a Harden injury, Kyrie injury from a finals. Right what I'm saying?
Played the Hawks and then probably at least get to play Phoenix. I just think the thing about this is I hadn't thought about like the Spurs, what they had reportedly offered or whatever. I think Miami has the weakest package of the other teams, and I think that's why.
Maybe.
The weakest package if they think that they're going to compete. Like if you're going to keep here,
I'm purely saying this from a KD perspective, not a Suns perspective.
I don't know, I guess. I'm sorry. I don't have that much to say. This like saga, I think it's just been going on so long that I'm like over it. Like it's almost like the Dame thing. The KD thing has just been going on since the season ended, where the Dame thing really picked up like in free agency and in the summer.
For the Suns, I want the Rockets so I can get my picks back and actually tank. Like that's kind of what you want, right? If you can figure out a way to do that. And then maybe you trade Booker for an insane
Booker like reportedly wants to stay.
And if Booker wants to stay, that's fine, but at least you have the security of having your own picks back.
Okay. I'd be devastated if we went to the Knicks. Final verdict.
Yeah. Sure. That's fine.
Because I like KD and would hate to have to really, really root against him.
All right. Rat list. What you got?
Rat list is I was going to play basketball yesterday with my man Worth. He was like, yo, do you want to play outside? I was like, yeah, all right. So I walked down the street to see if there's any runs at the court near my house, and there is just a bunch of kids hanging out outside the basketball court, but they are not on the basketball court. So there are no runs. Beautiful day out yesterday. It would have been a great night for runs, and there was just nobody playing ball. The problem with showing up to the outside courts is it's so hit or miss, because if there are runs, great. But if it's like runs of like early teenagers, you can't play. You can't do that.
It's tough.
It's hard. And I really enjoy an outside run. I think because you only get to do it like a couple months a year. Like there's something special about it. Like there's like the sun setting. It's a nice feel. Like I love it when we get to do it. But it's been a while. We used to do it every Thursday.
I play outside all the time.
Yeah.
It's fun. Rat list. So I'm a Brentford fan, obviously. My roommate Brian is a Spurs fan. I don't know how much you keep up with Premier League news. They bought our coach.
Oh, I did not know that.
Thomas Frank, he's just leaving. 7 years at Brentford, really good coach. Managers don't last that long.
Was responsible for them to be in the Premier League.
Managers
Yep.
don't stick around that long in soccer. Like generally, 7 years is a long
Klopp
time.
was at Liverpool for a long time before he
Yeah, exactly.
left last
And
year.
it's rare. Just bought him. That said, 10 mil, pretty good. You take 10 mil for a coach. That's not bad. Also, Mbumo, gone. Just got taken.
Where's he headed?
Brentford, Man U. Gross.
I guess I'll like parlay your rat list with a rat list that I don't really get to enjoy the Premier League anymore because I'm always doing something on the weekends. That's what happens when you have a girlfriend, I guess.
I don't watch as much as I want to either, and it's over right now, but it's hard, especially because it's basketball season.
You know what the best thing about the Premier League is? It's the basketball season, but it starts 3 months earlier.
It's true.
It starts in August. Like when we're dying in the middle of the summer and we're like, oh my God, I can't believe we have to talk for another hour today about nothing because there's no basketball. The Premier League is starting. It's coming. Okay, rat list. The college football league is on pause now. It has to be on pause because one of our players is on vacation for a week. Kind of good because I don't have to stress about being at my Xbox for the week, like worrying about helping advance the week. But playoffs are about to start. Really shit time to have to slow down.
Is Henry in the playoffs?
Yes, Henry is in the playoffs.
Let's go.
We had an awesome season finale yesterday, though. We had Joe play Frank, which is always fun. They're cousins, they're roommates, they live together. Went to overtime, collapsed by Frank, which is always chef's kiss, lovely. And, he lost his third game of the season and somehow is still going to be in the playoffs, which everyone cares so much about. So that's the end of my Xbox College Football League talk.
Yeah. I will not be making a reappearance. Not ratless, but fun. Me and the fellows played Pro Club yesterday.
I saw you were on FIFA.
Fun. We had like 5 to 7 the whole time we played. We played for like 5 hours. It was fire. Ratless
When you say yesterday, it's the only time you have an accent, by the way.
I know. I there's some other words that get me too. It's like over there. Like sometimes like where or there it like comes out. Yesterday I just like say it and it's just yesterday. Like it's yeah. Ratless time wasters. We're up like 4-3. We come back too. They're just dribbling the ball in their own corner. It's just like fuck you. Anyone who plays a sports game, not like the actual sport, fuck you. That's it. It's the worst.
Oh, I thought you were like if you play FIFA and you didn't actually play soccer, fuck you.
No, but like they don't.
You don't play soccer.
They don't do that. They like time waste. They like pass the ball back and forth. They don't dribble glitch in the corner because you like just get a foul for tackle. You know what I'm saying? Like that. What are we doing, man? It's so whack.
I guess I'll rat list all these like random player one-on-ones that are happening. I kind of think it's funny, but like you have Michael Beasley and Lance Stevenson calling out Melo, and like Beasley saying he'd smoke LeBron. And it's just a reminder of how weird the NBA is, where you can be one of the nastiest shot creators or bucket getters and there's no spot for you in the league. They should have saved this content for the summer is my point, I think. I think I like it, but I don't care about your one-on-ones.
August.
Yes.
August.
Like, I don't care about your one-on-ones during the NBA Finals. I just don't.
Yes. I like 1v1s, though. I think that concept is fun. I don't really have anything else. Ratless the T. Always. Perpetually. Sucks. Waited 13 minutes for a T at Park Street today. Not okay. Middle of the city. That's all I got. I don't know if you have anything else.
So I won't say who it was, just out of respect. I'm going to rat list this argument that I heard where roommates were arguing about where they wanted to go grocery shopping based on the price of burger rolls. One person was like, we should go to this one store that is significantly further away because you can get 2 packs of burger rolls for $2 instead of paying $2 for 1 pack of burger rolls. And this was a legitimate argument that happened. And I couldn't help but laugh.
But is it just that they want to go to a cheaper grocery store, or is it literally because there's like a sale on burger rolls? You know what I'm saying? Like, is the entire grocery store a lot cheaper?
I think it's just the deal. The deal
How much
on the
for-
burger rolls.
How much further away is?
So one grocery store is probably like 5 minutes away, and the other one's probably 15 to 20 minutes away.
Yeah, no. What are we doing? What are we doing? Pay the dollar, man. Pay the dollar.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Pretty funny to hear about.
You got anything else?
That's it.
All right, we'll wrap there. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to How About Them Celtics, and I'll let Sam wrap it up.
Hey, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment, tell us what you think about Derrick White trades. I had to think about what we talked about on this episode because it feels like it's been a long time. You can find us on the channel every day, so subscribe. New content comes out at 5 a.m. These pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. We have game recaps during the season, the morning after each game, and other videos in between. Right now, we're hammering the draft. All the prospect previews are going up. It's a lot of fun making them. It's a good way for us to learn more about who's cooking on the draft boards, and you guys as well. You can find us on Spotify and Apple too. All pods and recaps are up there. So if you just want the audio versions, go ahead, follow. They will go right to your feed. Leave a 5-star review. Would appreciate that very, very much. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Big shout out to you if you sent them in today, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Our socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook is the name of the podcast. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's at Jack's Mon NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Taco, come on.
Taco's having some fun here.
That is bogus. These guys are ridiculous.